Welcome back, Elden Ring fans, to another video. And in today's video, we have my Lord Voldemort build, and I had a lot of fun making this character. It didn't take me very long to do it, but it was a little tedious to make sure I could find the correct spells. I didn't have everything that I wanted whenever I first started, so it took me a couple minutes to kind of go about and find some of those. As you can see, I have the Tabantha guys and stuff like that for my magic. And a couple of ambush shards. There's a lot of stuff I'll go over for reasons why I have certain things, but it's all to match the character, but it does help with PvP because this is a PvP-based character when it comes to the story that I have for him. So for Lord Voldemort, if you don't know, he is a dark wizard in the Harry Potter franchise. Now, the Harry Potter franchise is actually my first fantasy franchise I've ever read. Whenever I was a child. I love the books. I love the movies. I know every single phrase from the beginning of the first movie to the end of the last movie. They've always had a special place for me in my heart. I love the Hogwarts game. Sorry if you're a big Giga Chad, woke person and you're having trouble with the Hogwarts game that came out. That's a you issue. It's an issue, not an ish me. But I enjoyed it. So with this build, a lot of people actually did have a lot of fun with the build with me. A couple people were cosplaying as some pretty funny stuff, and you'll see them later and what I run into. But as you can see, I do have spells, and you'll see all the spells, and you can go about how you want to make the magic and use the magic. The magic's not really as important as some of the spells that I do use, but I do happen to have Cestus, Blood Cestus on this character. The reason why is because as a mage, you do have to have something to kind of stop the enemy from getting too close to you. And with a mage, that is very, very key. So I do have a parry material, and I do have a dagger if I want to swap over. As you've seen earlier, I didn't swap over to my dagger. I forgot to change it out. I actually used the Blood Grady Pay, but that's not a very big deal. But I do have that just to parry people who are just mashing. But as you can see, I ran into another Giga Chad over here, and me and him kind of had probably the most funny confrontation ever. I just kind of, nod at him. I'm like, what, good job. And he, of course, bows to the Dark Lord. He knows better. He's one of my Dark Wraiths, which is what I use the Tabantha's spell for. That's to simulate the Dark Wraiths that come in or the Death Eaters, sorry, the Death Eaters that come in, and whenever he summons them forth to do his bidding. They're other wizards that he's manipulated. And in this, he's actually trying to take the mantle of Elden Lord to corrupt the world as he sees fit. That's the person that Lord Voldemort actually is. He's the mindset of a tyrant, and the only person that he cares about is himself. So if he has to eliminate other people, or in this quotation, other wizards, he will. So the entire point of this build was to go into fights and get my rank up all the way as much as I could. I couldn't find anybody who would summon with me or anything else like that. None of my friends were on to actually go and try and help make the video, but I usually don't have them in the video anyway. That's just to keep them confidential. But this was a very fun build. People were not expecting Ambush Shard, which is very crazy because I thought a lot of people used it. But it seems like the trick that Voldemort would pull. He would do anything to win. It doesn't matter what it is. Even, sacrificing parts of his soul, which he does do, spoiler, 20-year spoiler alert. He does do that in the franchise a lot. So with this build, I'm not immortal. As you can see, there is a man who is able to take me out, a wizard, and Voldemort learns from this. So he takes the aspect that he learns from and decides to go all out. He's not going to just stand back and wait. He's going to let people come to him, but also, rush in with the magic. I'm a very violent player with magic. I don't just instantly give everybody the win. I'm doing like 270 something with just Ambush Shard alone. I have the Tabanthas, like I said, those are for the Death Eaters that I use. You can use summons and make Death Eaters. I think probably the best one you could use is the Dark Assassin Tish. The Black Knife Tish would look amazing with this build. I just didn't have her at the time, so if you want to go ahead and do that and make your own character for it and run around with it, that's cool as shit. Go ahead and do that. I've seen a lot of my builds now, actually. I've seen it a couple times. I have a couple recordings. I'm hoping to gather more of them the more I see them come out, of builds that I made that people are like, yo, are you him? And I'm like, yeah, I'm him. I'm the guy who makes the builds. But I'm not like a huge YouTuber or anything else like that. It's just something fun that I like to do, that when I see passionate people doing something that's similar to me, it's like cool. I don't know. It's fun to see people do builds because, the PvP sucks in the game. But when you have fun making the PvP fun by making I don't know, you're going to see a couple crazy ones I'm going to make. I do have a Mr. Incredible coming. That will be funny because it was originally going to be Jiren, and instead it turned into Mr. Incredible. But you'll see that later. That'll probably be my next video if I can get that out fast enough. I'm still working on a whole bunch of other characters, but I mean, this build, of course, is magic. It destroys. So I mean, I'm using darker spells, night spells. I'm using the catalyst of loss because it looks like his wand. So enjoy these kinds of builds and making these kinds of characters because you can do a lot with them. I did equip the dark armor. The Knight Rider armor because he just was taking too much damage with the armor I wanted him to have, and I had already used that armor for a previous build, and I decided that probably wasn't the best looking anyway. He is the Dark Lord. He's supposed to be this robed, scary man who is going in and obliterating you just with anything. And there is no one-shot technically spell like Avada Kedavra, which is a spell that insta-kills wizards, and it's illegal to use. There's no torturous spells, but I feel like being a wizard in PvP anyway is torturous enough for most people. So it's kind of annoying, but I mean, I had fun with it. I usually don't play mage, but this got me to actually play with a mage and have fun with it. So like I said, if you guys enjoy these kinds of builds and you guys want to see more, like and subscribe. This did take me some time to make, and I did enjoy doing PvP. I know a lot of people are down on PvP like me. I was having trouble with it for a while just because it's not as balanced. But I mean, as you can tell, it needs some work. As you'll be able to probably see, I don't know what gives that impression, but I have a feeling that on Thursday, June 8th, which is this week, on this Thursday, at the Game Awards, we'll see something cool, or not Game Awards, but Games Fest, Summer Games Fest. We'll see some more about Elden Ring, and I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I see you guys there. Let's hope we can finally see that DLC we were looking for, and just hopefully we get an update that patches some of this shit, because it's a little bit, it's a little magical itself, so it fits the build for how wizardry works. So if you guys enjoyed this, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later, and peace out, guys.